I've made two very big financial mistakes that cost me millions of dollars, and I'm still regretting it today. So let's get started.
Number one, excess consumption. I started my career selling books, school textbooks. I didn't have any experience in sales, but on my first sales call, I made $10,000. Crazy, eh? I was blown away. In that year, money just started to flow in. I came from a middle-class family. I didn't have a lot of money, but suddenly I was making a lot of it. And that began the road to my excess consumption. It began with my first purchase of a luxury watch. Not knowing anything about watches, I became an easy target for marketers and ended up buying the same watch worn in the James Bond movies, the Omega Seamaster. Now, if I had stopped there, things would have been fine. But I ended up buying two, one for me and one for my best friend at that time, who is no longer my best friend, but that's another story. As my earnings increased, so did my excess spending. I moved from watches to luxury brand accessories to expensive custom suits and on to cars. At one point I had 4 cars. Stupid, just ridiculous, stupid spending. But it happens. It happens to all of us. And the reason is because we like to compare ourselves to our neighbors and other people. And when we see them have something nice, we want that too. When we get in a position to have something, we go out and get it. Well, not only was I buying expensive material possessions, my lifestyle, or the cost of my lifestyle increased. I was going to nice restaurants, getting $200 hair and scalp treatments. I was going to expensive clubs and paying the entire bill for my friends. I would take business class on international flights, and on and on and on. I just kept spending money. There is a term for what I just described. It's called lifestyle inflation. The more money we make, the more money we spend. And everyone goes through it. It's just the degree of the experience. That's the only difference. Okay, moving on. My mistake number 2 was insufficient investment. So I was making a lot of money, but I was spending it. So I didn't have a lot of money left over to make investments. I didn't know anything about assets and liabilities. Assets are what you put money into that grow over time and return money back to you. Liabilities are something that you put money into and they never return that money back, or they never grow over time. Everything I spend my money on falls into the category of liabilities. I should have put more money into assets. There are 2 different assets that I could have put my money into: real estate and stocks. And I was considering both at that time. First, let's take a look at real estate. Many years ago, this was a quiet, empty, and neglected street. Few people traveled it, and even fewer people had heard of it. The average building here was 2 or 3 stories tall. As I was making money, I started thinking about maybe I should buy one of these buildings. I looked into it and the cost was about $500,000 to about $900,000. Well, I ended up not buying it. Now when I go down that street, it's been completely developed and has become one of the hottest tourist shopping destinations in Seoul. Do you know what the average cost of the building there is today? Let's do the math. If I had put in $500,000 into this building, it would be worth over $10 million now. I would have made $9.5 million on that deal at the minimum. Opportunity stared me in the face, and I couldn't recognize it. Let's talk about stocks. So I had a few Apple stocks at that time that I invested in. But this being so long ago, nobody really knew if Apple would do well or not. This was before the iPhone had come out. I was considering putting more money into Apple stock, but I didn't do that either. So now let's do a quick math calculation on what that Apple stock would have been had I put in $500,000 at that time. Yep, there you go. $74.5 million. Are you kidding me? That's the power of compounding. Opportunity stared me in the face again, and I couldn't recognize it. Now, I'm sure many of you have had similar experiences, and I don't believe it's healthy to dwell on what could have been. But let's take the lesson and make sure we don't repeat that lesson in the future. I know now why I made those mistakes. I made them because I didn't know how to manage my money. I wasn't taught financial education in school or at home. And as a result, being young and making a lot of money at that time, I thought I could make money all the time doing anything. If I put that money away, I'd be very happily retired and very happily wealthy. But I didn't do that, so I'm still back to work. 2 lessons for you people out there. Don't overspend and put more of that money into your investments. You will not regret it. All right, hope you like this video. Like and subscribe. Next video will be a little bit different from this one. Thanks.